Welcome to Gabbing with Girlfriends. And my girlfriend today and always is Gabby Hughes, who I haven't talked to on or off camera forever. Like forever. Seems like summer's nearly over and we haven't even talked about our summers. So, hi, Gabby. Welcome.
Hello,
How are you?
I'm good.
Good. Are you having a nice summer so far?
I am. I'm having a great summer. It's beautiful and it's lovely. I love it.
Do you know what? I'm in England, and guess what we have today? Sunshine.
Oh, that's wonderful.
We are day two of sunshine after James gets married, and his wedding was outside, and it actually did make it outside. They thought for a while it was going to have to be indoors, but miraculously, his wedding day had nice, not great weather, but great enough to be outdoors. But this has been the worst summer here. I would
Huh.
say it's been the worst July on record, but I'd just be making that up, but I believe it.
Yeah, I was in Copenhagen in June and it's the first time I've ever been there. But um, Soren, Glenn's guitar player, said it's the most rainy, wet summer, June they've ever had there.
Well, that's what I think it's been here. And last July in England, or last June in England, was the warmest on record. So it's really funny how, like kids, you don't get to the same.
Yeah.
What'd you do in Copenhagen?
Glenn was making an album, so I went there and went to the studio a couple times, listened to what they're working on and what he was doing, and then I just walked around by myself. Went to the Botanic Garden there, went to Tivoli Gardens with Glenn, and we had a great time there. So it was a short trip, but it was really fun. I went to the Carlsberg Brewery and saw one of the Carlsberg horses get a bath, which was super cute.
Oh, I bet. I bet. Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah, they have. I mean, in my next life, I'm coming back as one of these young, like 20-year-old girls that takes care of those horses.
Oh, I
Oh
thought
my
you were going to say you want to come back as one of those horses and get bathed.
no, well, I could do that too. They've got the life, let me tell you.
Oh, yeah, I bet. I have to say, it's 9 o'clock in the morning where you are, and you look all fluffy and nice. And um,
It's smoke and mirrors and wire and
well,
string
you
tape.
you look really good here. It's 5 in the afternoon, and I look like I've been run ragged all day. But in actuality, I've been like this for 5 days because I had a bit of a fall. I have a sprained hip and can't do anything but walk on my little sticks and go from the couch to the restroom. And that's it. That's my life now.
I hope that doesn't last very long.
No, me too. Me
I hope
too.
that's over with quickly.
I am just so glad Coco's here because I have to extend my trip here because I can't fly. And
Oh, right.
which leads me into my next question for you. Do you purchase travel insurance when you travel?
I don't. The only time I ever did it was, I don't know, I thought something might go sideways. But here's the thing, when you buy a plane ticket, if you don't use the ticket, it's a credit. You just use it on the next flight, which has happened to me on numerous occasions. But I've never bought travel insurance because that implies you want to get completely refunded. You don't ever, you don't want a credit for your ticket. And for me, it's like, I bet you there's some fine print in that insurance policy that would never let me get the refund anyway. You know what I mean? I'd have
That's
to
what
be
I
in
would.
the hospital. I'd have to be in the hospital like on my deathbed, and then they might give me 50% of it. But so I never do it.
That's what I always think too. So I never do it either. So for some really crazy reason, I'll never, ever, ever understand this. I'll blame it on drugs because I was on some serious pain meds. All of a sudden, I realized because this happened Monday night. So Tuesday, I was taken by ambulance because I couldn't move to the hospital. And then when I got home, I thought, I can't get on a plane tomorrow. So I go online to cancel my plane ticket. thinking it's going to say, do you want your money back on your credit card or do you want, travel, future travel? But I just pressed cancel. And so out of my plane ticket, I think I got $159 or pounds back of my taxes. The rest of it I lost. So we called and they said, oh, yeah, it's gone. You could have rescheduled the trip. You could have picked any day over the next year and you could have changed it
Yeah,
50 times and kept changing it, but now it's gone. I couldn't reinstate it. I couldn't do anything. And
that's
then,
weird.
so American Express had booked my hotel and they said, no, hotel says you've lost it. I have hospital discharge papers. I have a letter from my doctor saying I physically cannot fly. And hotel said no. So I said to the American Express person, I said, seriously? I could have booked this myself and probably done better. This is the best you can do for me. And then it came back later on that day saying, well, we got the hotel to extend a one-off credit. You can use it you can use this money at the hotel between now and the end of October. I'm like, anyway, I'm just not, I felt too yuck to even debate it. So now we're
Yeah,
going to take our little, what was meant to be for Terry's birthday, we're going to take our little trip in September. But I can't believe that, legit couldn't fly, legit, and they didn't care.
they don't care, but if you call them and say, "Hey, I can't get on the plane. I want this credit," they just put it in that, and then when you go to book your next
No, no, that's what they've done.
flight,
That's what they've done as
yes,
a
yeah.
one-off. They don't normally do this supposedly, but as a one-off, but it has to be between now or 2 days ago and the end of
Oh,
October.
that's for the hotel. I was
Yeah.
talking about the airline
Oh,
ticket.
yeah,
You should
hotel
be
gone,
able to.
gone. I
That's
just
weird because usually you can just
no, but I did
cancel.
it. I did it. My fault. I canceled. I didn't rebook it. It says on there,
Uh,
"We want to reschedule. Are you canceling?" And
oh, and you have to hit
normal frame of
reschedule. Yeah,
mind, I would have rescheduled. In half of a normal frame of mind, I would have rescheduled. But instead I
right.
canceled. Anyway, that that's my sob story for the day. I'm just grateful every minute of every day. I'm thinking how grateful I am that this didn't happen before the wedding.
Yeah, thank
That
goodness.
would have
Ooh,
sucked.
that
Would
would
have
have sucked.
really sucked. And then this is the last thing I'm going to say. Then we can go into questions, but I have to tell you, I had no idea what my daughter-in-law's dress was going to look like. I just couldn't even imagine her in a wedding dress. Never mind the
Yeah.
dress. It had to be the most beautiful wedding dress I've ever seen.
Oh,
I'm gonna send
nice.
you a picture. They wouldn't let
Yeah,
us, take pictures during the ceremony, so we'll be getting wedding pictures, and I get it, like, he's pretty
yeah,
anti-phone anyway, and he didn't want people watching them get married, through the lens
yeah.
of a phone.
I
I
get it.
totally get it. But this dress is just, like I just can't stop thinking about it or talking about it, and it was just beyond
I
perfect for
can't wait to see
yeah,
it now. I
just
can't wait to see it.
beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So that's it. You can talk about yourself now. This has been a me conversation so far because I have to tell you, you're also the first person outside of Debbie and Terry I've talked to in 3 days. So I'm just, blah, blah, blah.
You've been in solitary confinement too long. That's the
yeah,
thing.
I have. If you were bedridden, this isn't one of the questions that have been come in.
Okay.
But if you were bedridden and Glenn had to dress you, for example, would he be able to do it?
Yes, he
Ugh.
would do it. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
just checking.
It would be pretty funny to watch if you
Yeah, this
wanted to
I
see
was
it, but
I
it
couldn't
would be, it
laugh.
would happen.
I couldn't laugh at the time because I was in way too much pain. But my husband was so cute making the effort. He was really cute. He actually did it, but it was just cute. It was cute.
Yeah.
But okay, if you don't have anything to say, then we could start our questions. But I'm sure you must have.
Yeah, start with questions. I got nothing going on.
Okay, that's so cool. You went to How long were you there, by the way?
In Denmark?
Yeah.
Oh gosh, quick trip, like 4 or 5 days.
Are you glad you went?
Oh, I loved it. I loved every moment of it.
Would you go again, or it's?
Absolutely.
Oh,
I
you
would
would?
go again.
Oh,
Oh
cool.
yeah, I would go back.
Oh, I love it.
Lots of things I still need to see.
Oh, that's nice. Not that you missed seeing things, but that you enjoyed it enough to want to go back.
Yeah, I want to go back. Yeah.
Okay. So, first question here is why do people expect females to compromise?
Because we always have throughout, we always do because we don't want to fight because we just want to get whatever we just want to move on and get it over with. So it's just, expected.
Yeah,
That's my opinion.
yeah, I never thought about that, but I think I never even I don't know that I ever knew that people really expected women to compromise, but I think people, meaning men, I think they must expect it because they know they're not going to. Is that
They
right?
assume it's going to happen.
Yeah. So, so yes, I guess the reason they expect it is because they're not.
Think about it. Throughout time, women have had, they're beating their laundry on the wash tub. They got 5 kids tugging at their long fucking dress that weighs 50 pounds. They've got to bake some bread and then get dinner on the table and put wood on the fire. You think they got time to argue with some guy about
No,
something? They don't.
no, they don't. I'm with you. They absolutely do not. Okay, this isn't a question. Well, this is a question for you. I'm not sure when the last time you were in England was, or if you experienced this when you were here. But first of all, do you drink Lucasade?
No, I don't. I don't drink it.
I love it. But I love it when I'm sick because that's what everybody in England drinks when they're sick. But there's a new thing that happens in England with plastic bottles. Look, the lids don't come off.
Oh,
Any,
nice.
any plastic bottle. Isn't that weird? Until you go to drink out of it. And then you're like, where do I put my mouth? I'm gripping it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's
You
hard.
got to get a knife. You got to get a straw.
No, you actually have to push it all the way down. I always forget to.
Okay.
But anyway, so yeah, it's different. But the first time I did it, I thought, what's wrong with my bottle? And I thought it was just me and that one bottle. It's everything.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, where do you get your energy from for the day in and day out? Just everyday activities. Coffee? Question mark.
Who said I had energy? You're assuming I have energy. I
You
don't.
do. You
I
told.
barely make it.
Okay, but
And
what you barely
yes,
making it? What?
and yes, I'm having my coffee in my Queen's Jubilee mug
Very
that
nice.
says plant a tree. And that is what makes me start my day. Don't even speak to me until I'm got one of these down me.
It looks like an Emma Bridgewater cup. Is it?
It is. Emma Bridgewater did
I love it.
a tree thing for the Queen's thing because remember she planted all those trees. They
Mhm.
planted all those trees. Yeah, so this is like her tree mug.
I love it. I love Emma Bridgewater anyway.
I
Um,
do too.
okay, the next question is political, so I'll move on so we don't have to do that. Okay? Yeah? I'm not
Right on.
I'm not answering anything political. If you'd like to, I'll read the question.
No, no, no.
Not reading
My
it.
face will give away the answer, and then everyone,
It's
it's
not worth
okay.
it. It's not even worth it. And do you know what?
Yeah,
Being over here, I have found a little, excuse me, a little bit of peace in as much as I'm
yeah,
here. And yes, I still hear it. And I guess I'm hearing it kind of the way BBC wants to present it.
yeah. It's like,
It's
yeah, you don't.
okay. It's
Yeah,
okay. I lived through the election here, and I can't believe I've got to do it twice, one here and one there.
we
But
got to do it twice. Yeah.
um, anyway, okay. Tips on where to meet new people if you're an introvert.
Okay, first of all, I love that question. I don't know why. I think it's because where to meet people and then introvert in the same sentence. I mean, if you're an introvert, do you want to meet new people?
I think
I
you,
mean,
yeah, I think you
then
do.
work on okay, then work on not being an introvert. I don't know. That question is just I don't know why. I just find it to be funny. I mean,
Like oxymoron ish.
yeah, like I don't know. I'm not an introvert, so I can't really answer that question. I mean, I guess you go to look, you just go to things. For example, I'm going on Saturday to this class on learning about plants for a, arid environment, you know what I mean, for drought tolerant plants. I'm not an introvert, so I'll just listen and learn and probably buy some plants. But if I was an introvert, maybe I'd speak to the person next to me because I don't know, I just do something, get out of the house, you know?
I think, but that's a good place. But I
I mean,
think
just get out of the house.
so. I don't know if it means like if it's a date, if it's to meet, a partner, then I would think online because I think that's
You
what.
got to go online. You got to go online. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
surely, I wonder if these things exist, and if not, I don't know why we don't do this. But if there's such sites like a platonic Tinder sort of thing where you go on to meet other like-minded people, somebody else that's into plants, or somebody else that likes to play rummy cube, or somebody a your fellow poker player or whatever.
Right. Well, there's an orchid club here. Join the orchid club if you're into that, or volunteer at they're always looking for volunteers here in San Pedro for the animal shelter. I mean, I think you have to find something that interests you and then find other people, find a group of other like-minded people. I mean, that's what I would do.
But don't
I
you think?
joined the
Don't you think
Rose
there should
Club
be?
or the whatever club.
But don't you think there should be a website for like a platonic Tinder?
You
Like,
can Google it. You can Google it. Or like, okay, we all know I'm into plants, right? But like that's how you find the connection. You go and you Google, orchid club, and boom, it'll pop up or whatever. I mean, that's how people do it. You just have to Google something you're interested in and find a club for it.
I would,
That's what I would do.
yeah, I would never, ever, ever, if I was a young single person looking for a good time, I would never go to a bar for it, ever. I would never go someplace. I just couldn't imagine. I think it's such a scary world these days. And not that it's any less scary doing it online, but
I mean, look, I went to bars all the time with my girlfriends, in the 80s and 90s, and I had a great fucking time. But I'm not an introvert.
well, there you go. There you go.
So there you go.
Um, okay, next. Even with psychological help, what can we do to overcome a toxic, draining, and abusive relationship? Yikes. It's been years and
You
I still have
leave.
nightmares about it. Well, I'm hoping this person's saying it's been years since they left the relationship and they're still having
Yeah,
nightmares about it. That I get. I hope it's not. It's been years since I've been in the relationship and having nightmares about it. I'm assuming that they've left. And I don't really know what anybody does but get help and just kind
that's
of
sad.
find your
That's
strength.
sad.
Yeah.
That's sad. And I'm no PhD. I'm not qualified to answer that question.
No.
That's
Yeah.
professional help.
Yes. But I think that, somehow you find strength if it's amongst your friends, if it's amongst your shrink, if it's amongst, groups, because there are groups for this. Wherever it is, you find your strength to help you get through it and
Right.
to learn from whatever kept you there before so it never happens again. Because
That's right.
I do
And I
believe
think if you're out of it, you might suffer even some, what do you call it? Like, not
withdrawal.
guilt, not guilt, but you might have shame that you were even there in the first place. So you have to lose that because that's what kept you there. I think that's my opinion. But like I said, I'm not qualified for that. That can also turn into a very dangerous situation. So you have to get away from that.
Well, I'm assuming this person has been away for years, so that's great.
Good, good.
Okay, I know we've had something like this before. How to know when it's time to cut off a friend? And I'll answer because mine's quick. I think if 3 years are up, it's time to move on. This time, they know you too well at
set
this
the
point. You need a new one.
set the egg timer, and then when it's done, you're out.
It's time. Move on. Okay, you can answer that one because I answered mine flippantly, but it kind of is true. Go on.
No, I mean, I think I've said this before. Friends sometimes are temporary because they fulfill a certain need that you have at that time, or you're going through something, or you have a common thing, or and then maybe you just grow out of each other, and it's not even a severing. it's done, or you move away or something. I just don't,
Or you
I don't
pretend to move
really,
away. That's it. I like that when you pretend to move
you
away.
move away, you move away.
Okay, how do you feel about tough love when it comes to dealing with our loved ones who are addicts? Research now leans towards tough love not being the answer yet also tells us we shouldn't enable. What do you think about this? So they're saying now no tough love and you can't enable. So what is in between that?
Well, I can't really speak to that with any real experience. Do you know what I mean? Like, there was a guy that was a friend of ours many, many years ago, and I know he was doing stuff that, Glenn and I don't do. And Glenn and I talked about it, and we really, really liked him. And we wanted to, Glenn was like, I just don't think I can, be a part of this or support it, or I'm not supposed to be friends with him. Well, that lasted about 3 weeks because we really did like him a lot. And I'm just saying, I think that tough love thing is much more, it's easier to say than maybe to do it. And I think when people are adults, if they have an addiction, it's an illness. You can't control it. I don't know. I think you got to do that on a case by case basis. I don't have anyone in my life right now, thank goodness, where I have to deal with that issue. I don't have any friends who are abusing things. I mean, I have one friend, but he lives on the other side of the country, and
It's not in your face.
I just don't. It's not in my face, and I don't communicate. I don't. I just, you do you. He knows my opinion on that. I think he needs to go to rehab. He knows my opinion. So we just don't hang out anymore because it's too difficult to hang out. And I haven't shut him out completely. Like if he sends me a text, I'll reply as long as it makes sense. But we're not hanging out because it's pointless.
See, I really,
So
I
I'm,
struggle.
I'm just saying, I think it's difficult. I think it's difficult. You have to take it on a case by case basis because how does it affect my life? Okay. If your drinking is going to negatively affect my life, I'm not hanging out with you.
See, because I have such a bizarre, like almost sick hatred toward alcohol, having never drank ever. I mean, oh, people must think I'm some kind of religious fanatic or something that can't drink or that I'm sober. I've just never drank. And I have a really unhealthy, and not because of, Terry having once been a big drinker. It's not even nothing to do with that. I really have a hard time with people in my life that okay, here's an example. After James's wedding, and I know this is really not healthy, but after the wedding, the next day we all had, the immediate people had breakfast, then there was a brunch for like the bridesmaid, whatever, for people, whatever. And I was looking around the room and everybody, this thing went on till it started at 2:30 in the afternoon and finished at 12:30 in the morning. So I'm sure people had plenty to drink. Um, and so here we are at 11:30 the next day. And I'm sitting there and I see somebody having a Bloody Mary. And then I see somebody else having a glass of wine. And I see somebody else having whatever. And I was like, I wouldn't sit at a table with anybody that had alcohol because I didn't understand at 11:30 in the morning drinking when I know you drank a lot the night before. So what's the point? And that's me. And I know it's not healthy. And I know it's terribly judgmental. And I know it's not the best way to win friends and influence people, but I can't help it. I don't know why I'm like this. I wish I knew. So it's really, I think if somebody around me was an addict, I think I'd have to make sure they knew if they didn't already know, because I'm just like that. I'm very
Yeah.
I'm very upfront and and I always think I can make everybody better. So I'd want to try to help them see what they are and then hopefully help them get better.
Well, the one thing I've learned through my friend is that he doesn't want to get better,
Most of
right?
the case.
So, and so he knows how I feel. It doesn't mean that I don't like him. It just means that we don't hang out together anymore because he's made the choice. But it doesn't mean that I don't like him. That's not the case at all, right? And what you were saying about like the brunch and stuff, alcohol is such a, it's a prevalent part of life. It's everywhere. It's when you
especially
go out.
especially in
It
England.
it's everywhere. And I mean, I have done the Bloody Mary brunch. I'm guilty of that. And I like it. And I don't do it every weekend, but every now and then I crave me a nice spicy Bloody Mary. Um, I don't know. It's very prevalent, and I think it would be very hard for a person who was trying to get away from that. I think my heart goes out to them because I mean, if they want to meet their friends and go out for dinner, I mean, it's just there. It's in the restaurants. I mean, it's everywhere. So I just think it's got to be very, very difficult to like go through a struggle where you're trying to avoid it. It's almost like you have to stay home, right? Or go to a coffee bar because it's everywhere. I don't judge people for I don't judge people for doing it or not one way or the other. Like I said, I can still be friends with you, but we may or may not hang out depending on your intoxication level, you know?
Maybe
And
that, you know
that,
what? Maybe that's a key. That's a good point too. And I know I was too busy judging to determine how drunk or not drunk somebody may have been at brunch. But I mean, I've been around you when you've had, a fair few drinks, and you don't really change. And it's when people change that really affects,
yeah.
not even change for the worse. It's change, and if you're giggly and happy, if it's extreme either way, that just kind of freaks me out because it's just, I have such a hard time understanding that.
Well, there's people like that when they drink. There's like this flip that gets switched and then ding, and they turn into a different person. And that's kind of scary. And that I don't like
Even,
being
yeah,
around.
even if it's
I
laughter,
don't like that.
even if
And I
it's
don't know a lot
good.
of people, I don't know too many people like that.
But
Thank
even if
goodness.
they're good, even if they're overly happy, but they're sitting there laughing and everything's silly and whatever, just being out of a normal frame of mind sets me back.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so it's both extremes. So drinking, anyway, we went off the question. So um, how do we deal with addicts? And I think we deal with addicts any way we can, whatever we can do to help. And if they don't want help, then they're still your friend and you still love them. Or if it's not healthy for you to have a relationship with an addict, then walk away.
Yeah. And they'll get it. And you can tell
Yeah.
them, look, I can't deal with you like that. It
Yeah.
doesn't mean I don't care about you, but
I
let
got
me
to look
know
up
when you
for
get help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, okay, this is a good one. I don't know that I can really answer it, but it's a good one. Why can't women be proud of strong women versus judging them?
I don't think I do judge strong women. I don't know who I've judged.
No, I don't think you do. I don't think I do. And I think if I do judge, it's in an admiration capacity. But I
Yeah.
do think women, just by nature, not
I don't
to sound
think I
sexist,
judge them.
but I think women tend to be kind of judgmental anyway. And I think that strong women kind of intimidate both women and men. I think strong man is admirable to both men and women, but I think strong women to be intimidating.
I think it's generational as well. I
True.
think women of my generation are on the cusp of that judginess
Mm,
because there are a lot of strong women my age, but the younger women, they're not judging as strong women because they are strong.
yeah.
So I think the judginess is going away. And if you find yourself judging, you need to stop, count to 10, and ask yourself really why. And would you judge that same behavior if it was in a man? And if the answer is no, then you need to stop, right? If you wouldn't judge a man for it, then you shouldn't be judging a woman for it.
Sit back and accept the fact you're a sexist, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, this one's might be over my head, but how how to combat imposter syndrome? I don't really know what that is.
I don't know what that is either. I'm sorry.
Okay, so we'll move from that one. And then the second part of the question is, or the second question, I don't know if they go together, is why is it so hard for some women to accept their accomplishments and be proud of themselves? I think
Oh,
men are
I
like,
get it. Imposter syndrome is when you think you have achieved, okay, you're a successful woman,
yeah.
but you think you don't deserve it. Okay? So that's what that is.
Oh,
I don't know anyone who suffers from imposter syndrome. I don't know. I've never dealt with that. I don't know of anyone who,
okay. I don't think.
yeah. I don't know any woman who is thinking at home, oh God, I just got a promotion. I don't think I deserve it. No. Every woman I know who gets a promotion, she's like, thank God, because I should have got that 5 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's, yeah, I'm the same.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm the same.
I don't know anyone.
And I agree
Yeah.
with you. But I think that,
Yeah.
yeah, I think everybody I know, male or female, I think everybody, if they accomplish something, kind of, even if it's quietly, pat themselves on the back, right?
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
Justifiably so. How do we deal with empty nest syndrome? I feel like my whole purpose in life is over and my heart is broken. I am too afraid to vocalize this because most folks are not kind about this very real pain. It is a real pain. I know you're
I
really
cannot
young.
answer that
I know,
question
I know.
because I don't have kids. And if I did answer it, everyone would hate me anyway.
But
So,
you can
you
answer
know,
it. What if you've no longer had animals?
well, I'd have to get over it when I'd have to just deal with it. I'd have to find something else to fill my day. I mean, if
But
that's
you
the
still
only
have,
thing,
no, but you still get an empty feeling. You do.
sure. It's called it's a sense of loneliness.
I mean, it's just, I mean, that,
And that happens to people and you have to just deal with that. I just can't really I can't relate to that
hmm,
at all.
yeah.
Sorry.
No, I
I
can't.
just can't.
I think I don't. You can't get over. I mean, it's just one of those things where there is an emptiness. That's why it's called empty nest. And I think that what you do is when your kids have moved out and you can't get them back, and if you try really hard, they still won't come back. If you bribe them and do whatever, and you definitely they're gone, then you have to go out and get animals and more animals
Yeah,
and more
that's
animals.
right.
And then, yeah,
Fill it up with something else. Fill it up with something else.
yeah,
And also stop focusing on you. I mean, stop turning it so inner. Like you said, turn it outer. Go adopt a dog or two.
yeah,
Get some cats.
yeah. Yeah, way easier than a dog, by the way, as you know.
Oh, I see. Speaking of dogs, I think I see one coming. Oh, there he. Okay, there's it. I was just Glenn's getting up. He's getting ready to go for a walk. I didn't know that. I just wanted to make sure he was
Dog.
had clothes. I was wanting to make sure he had clothes on before he walked down the stairs behind me.
Is he taking a dog for a walk?
No, he's taking himself for a walk. He's coming down the stairs. He's getting ready.
He's naked.
He's not naked. He has clothes on.
Just teasing. Okay, if you could go back and tell yourself something in your 20s or 30s, what would it be?
Oh gosh.
Good question. It's a hard one.
Um, I would say not be so fearful about doing things in life or my career or something. You know what I mean? Like have less fear about choices. I don't know. I think I didn't accomplish as much as I would have liked to because it was more fear based, my choices. I think that maybe.
That's a good one. I think mine would be certainly in my, I don't know when, but at one point, Terry got the boys a dog, and I was so scared of the dog because I was always a cat person. And this was a big black Labrador. Well, at the time, it was a tiny little black Labrador. He was the nicest dog, and I never understood it. So I would tell myself to be less fearful, to love Baldric because someday I would grow up to be a really insane sort of animal lover. So, yeah, there must be a million things. That's a really good question, but I would tell myself to I don't know, be a better person, but I think I was a good person, but you could always be better. I don't know. I don't really know. It's a good question, but it takes thought.
It takes thought, yes.
You can't answer that flippantly, so I'll move on. What's a good way to reconnect with your husband or wife when feeling distant?
Go out to lunch.
Well, my husband doesn't go out. Never mind to
Okay.
so
Go out to lunch.
or just talk. Just talk because people don't talk enough. They just don't.
Yeah, that's true.
Don't you think? I think people
I
just
agree with you. I agree with you 100%.
yeah.
Yeah.
How to practice self-care without splurging.
Oh, for me, I try to go in my pool every day. And I mean, if you don't have a pool, then go for a walk, or you don't have to pay to go for a walk.
Yeah.
Go to a park, walk
Because
around.
you
Just,
feel good, your endorphins get a boost and
yeah,
fresh
yeah.
air. Yeah, I think being in fresh air, I'm not a great walker, but when I do walk, I love it and I'm so sorry. I
Just
don't
be outside.
yeah.
Being outside is free, and,
Yeah.
and it makes you feel better.
Okay, so let's do one more, okay? How do
Sure.
we deal this is a good one. How do we deal with family estrangements, especially ones we do not understand the cause?
Well,
I don't.
um,
I don't deal with it. And I have it in my family. I have people in my family that I don't talk to and that I'm not even sure why we don't speak. And or I kind of know, but I pretend to not know, whatever. But and I'm fine with it. It's just easier for me to not deal with it than to and sometimes I'll sit back and think, "Oh, that's sad that I don't know that person's children because they're all
but
grown up now."
is it really sad? I mean,
No, no, it
seriously,
really isn't.
why is there a rule? Is there a rule that you have to speak to, know, and like every single person in your family? If
No,
you don't get along, you don't get along.
no, and especially in my family somehow. But
So, you know,
but it is kind of unfortunate. Maybe it's not sad, but it's kind of and especially when you're
it's
not really
unfortunate
sure.
if you have a it's unfortunate if you have a small family and you wish that you had a relationship with them. But if you don't care, you shouldn't feel bad about it. If you feel bad about it, then you have to try to find a way to fix it.
Okay, well, should we wind down and say goodbye?
All right, we'll wind it down and say goodbye.
All right, Gabby, lovely to speak to you. And I will I'm gonna send you a picture of this dress.
Oh yes, don't forget, send me that. I'm dying to see it.
I am. Okay, take care and I will talk to you later.
Okay, bye.
Thanks. Bye. Bye. Thanks so much for tuning in today. And be sure to follow Gabbing with Girlfriends on here so you never miss an episode. You can also find us on social media for more fun and in depth conversations. Thank you.